2022 Boston Marathon and win in 2:06:51, the third fastest winning time in race history. He covered the downhill 5K from 35 to 40K in a staggering 13:55. Now, let's go back and reread this for a second. He ran 4:27, a 4:26, a 4:26, and a 4:37 mile, coming off the Newton Hills and Heartbreak Hill from 22 to 25, and he ran the third fastest winning time in history by blowing the field open with a 13:55 5K from 35K to 40K. This Evans Chebet ran the most incredible Boston Marathon I could have ever expected. A lead pack of 20 was still together at halfway, and an honest 1. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to a video. Before we jump into today's video, I did say, hope you enjoyed the last episode of you guys about the BAA 5K race recap. I had so much fun in that video, basically telling you guys all about the BAA 5K, how my experience went. This is my first time ever doing the BAA 5K. Again, I think I linked the race info for 2023 down in that description. I will also link down in the description below if you guys want to sign up for the 2023 race. But I had so much fun telling you guys all about the incredible competition that was in that race. I mean, I got 16:33 on that course, and I think in the Hollis 5K race recap, I will link that one down in the description below as well. I ran 16:04, and that was a net downhill. This one wasn't the easiest course because there was a headwind in my face. There were some hills, downhills, but also uphills on top of that. I mean, the race was incredible competition. I think my training did come down to it, some of it, but I think the competition was a lot of it. And yeah, it was just an awesome, great experience. I really do hope you enjoyed I think I put pictures from the race, finishing videos, and some the results and other stuff at the end of that video. So I really do hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, so I think this race was super fun. It was an amazing experience, and I really do hope you guys enjoy it I hope you guys really enjoyed listening to that video and maybe even decide to run it for 2023. Once again, I will link the race info down in the description below if you guys would like to sign up for the 2023 BAA 5K. I don't know if registration is open yet because it is still early. At the time I'm filming this video for you guys, I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago that it happened, so they're probably still clarifying all results. But I mean, again, I'll link the info down in the description below if you guys would like to go sign up for it. So I do recommend it. It was an awesome race, amazing competition, and that course is basically made for, and the race is basically made for PRs with the competition in it. And the course was a very flat, or it was not flat, but it was pretty flat and fast as well. The headwind and the hills didn't really help, but the downhills did. So it was a pretty flat and fast course, and the competition was amazing. So I really did enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed that. You guys, that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the intro. And now into our second block of the intro, the top of today's video. So in today's video, this is one I have been so excited to make for you guys for such a long time. This video, as you guys probably saw by the awesome title and thumbnail that we put on this video, before you guys clicked on it, when you guys saw the thumbnail, that's probably what attracted you in. This video is going to be recapping the 2022 Boston Marathon. Now, this race was amazing. I mean, it was so inspiring to see everyone go by, but the elite fields in this race were incredible. This race was shocking on the men's side and shocking on the women's side. On the women's side, it came down to a final sprint between Perez Jepchirchir, the Olympic champion, and I think it was her last name was Adula. So it came down to Kenya versus Ethiopia, and you guys probably saw who won if you watch a live stream. But other than that, we'll talk about that in the next block where we review the women's and men's races. And then the men's race, one runner by the name of Evans Chebet blew the race wide open. I mean, I'm telling you, he created a gap of about 30 seconds between 35 and 40K within 5 kilometers. He blew this race open like there was no. I mean, he looked like he was running like Kipchoge in his world record attempts. Like, Kipchoge's world record attempt, which I will link down in the description below, he blew everyone away in the first mile. That's basically what Chebet did. In the last 5K, he strung this out so much, it was ridiculous. And the women, I think it came down to the third fastest, I think it came down overall to the third fastest finish in Boston history. So this race is going to be super, super exciting. But on top of all this excitement, I'm also going to have two guest speakers on here. They are in my family, and they both ran their first Boston marathons this at the time I'm filming this for you guys on Monday, on Marathon Monday, Patriots Day. It was their first Boston Marathon, and I'm going to bring them on to have them tell you all about their experiences. But I have found two great articles by, you guessed it probably, letsrun.com, and they do a great job explaining all that stuff. So we will be having those articles, and then at the end of those articles, so we will be having one women's race article recap, and then one men's race recap article, and then at the end of those article blocks, I will be basically just recapping the article for you guys, giving you guys a quick summary on what happened, and then we'll move on to the next one. And the guest speakers will be at the end, so you guys will have to wait on for that. And at the end of the video, I might put a few videos, maybe a few pictures, some pictures of the race, and some other fun facts, maybe some results at the end of the race, top 3 for American, and and by the way, there were some very weird surprises that happened in this race. Molly Seidel, the American, ran a great 15-mile race. And you guys might be thinking, well, Michael, the marathon's 26.2 miles. That's the point. So if you guys can figure out what that means, she ran a great 15-mile race, but not the greatest 26.2-mile race. So that was a surprise. And the Americans ran a great race. Nell Rojas finished first for the Americans. Des Linden also ran a great race, and many other Americans as well. Scott Fauble finished first for the Americans, and the American men had a lot of success. So I'm really excited to recap this article for you guys. I found 2 great articles by letsrun.com, and yeah, I'm excited, and let's get straight to it. You guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this intro of the video, and now we're into our first block of the video, recapping, or basically just kind of reviewing and recapping and reading all about the women's elite professional Boston Marathon at the 2022 Boston Marathon. Alright guys, in this first block of the video, we're going to be basically reading, recapping, and reviewing the women's professional marathon for the elites, for the elite women at the 2022 Boston Marathon. At the time I'm filming this, you guys, this past Monday on Patriots Day on Marathon Monday. So before we get into this article, once again, you guys know we always have to give a shout out to our amazing article makers, letsrun.com. Letsrun.com has given us so many of our articles. They give us so many articles. I think they gave Boston Marathon Unicorn History. They also gave us our not our preview article, but they have given us so many articles. By the way, I will link that video I just mentioned down in the description below, the history of the Boston Marathon Unicorn. But thank you so much to letsrun.com for both of these amazing articles. And yeah, so let's get straight to it. So first of all, before we get straight to the race and reviewing the article, this race, as I told you guys in the Boston Marathon preview, which I will link down in the description below, go check it out. Actually, if you haven't seen it, go check it out before this one or after this one, if you guys would like. After you guys see this one, but make sure you watch both. Maybe you want to watch that one first since it's the preview, and then watch this one. But this field was loaded. You had the 2017 champ, Edna Kiplagat. You had many defending champions. You had the Olympic champion, Perez Jepchirchir. That was the biggest one, and she won New York last fall. So you had also had the American Molly Seidel, who was the Olympic bronze medalist last year. You had Nell Rojas, who had finished first for the Americans last year, also did that this year. You had Des Linden, who has been an amazingly accomplished marathoner, won the 2018 edition of this race. So you can see this field was loaded, and there were so many other amazing women who ran in this race. This race was loaded, and it basically came down to a 3-horse battle until it came down to 2 on Boylston Street. So let's get straight to it. Title of this article: Perez Jepchirchir wins 2022 Boston Marathon after thrilling final mile duel with Abel Yashina. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. This final mile, I am telling you guys, I will link a video from NBC down in the description below. Perez Jepchirchir broke away with 1 mile to go. About probably a quarter mile later, Perez Jepchirchir and this woman Abel Yashina were back together again, and it basically came down to who could run the fastest on Boylston Street, who had the kick to out-sprint the other on Boylston Street, and ultimately it ended up being Perez Jepchirchir in the third fastest Boston Marathon win overall, not just for the women, but overall in history. So let's get straight to it. So this video, this one was posted on April 18th, 2022. That was the date of the marathon, so it was posted really, really recently. But let's get straight to it. All right, so first paragraph, Boston. Reigning Olympic and New York City Marathon champion Perez Jepchirchir has won another one. The 28-year-old Kenyan dug deep and came out on top after a terrific final mile battle with former half-marathon world record holder. This is something I did not know. I will try to find a video on this, so go check it out in the description down below afterward. Abel Yashina of Ethiopia. Now, as I have described for you guys, this final mile was ridiculous. They came down to like a 2 or 3 second difference. It was the third fastest Boston Marathon finish in history. And basically, this final mile was insane. Perez Jepchirchir broke away. And you thought, okay, this is the Olympic champion. This is the New York City champion. She's done. No, she was not done. She came back. And for most of the time, I thought she wasn't even going to win. I thought she was fading back and the other woman would outsprint her. I don't know. To me, I don't know why she really left her around that long. Maybe because she was conserving energy for the last final sprint. After the leading duo hit 25 miles, there were 7 different lead changes in the final 1.2 miles as Jepchirchir kept attacking, but Yashina repeatedly refused to give in. Finally, Jepchirchir took the lead with a bit more than 200 meters to go and went on to win in 2:21:01, the second fastest winning time in Boston history, with Yashina settling for second in 21:05. The final mile split was 5:23. This is the 5th straight marathon Jepchirchir has won. First of all, let's go back to this. There were 7 different lead changes in the final 1.2 miles. Most of the time, there's not many more than like 10 lead changes over the course of the entire marathon. There were 7 alone in this final half mile, in this final 1.2 miles. That is ridiculous. Also, let's look at this final mile split. 5:23. Guys, most of us can't even run this for 1 mile. They ran this after running 25.2 miles, and they still had the ability to sprint at the end. And it's the 5th straight marathon Jepchirchir has won. So Yashina was the former world record holder in the half marathon. And, it was an amazing battle, but Jepchirchir has now won her 5th straight marathon. I think she can challenge Koski for a world record, to be honest with you guys. I think the world record, if anyone, whoever's going to break it, it might be Koski, but Jepchirchir could probably give her a run for her money, as of right now, what I think, the race. So this is Jepchirchir found a way to win yet again, like she always seems to do. The race started so this is the beginning of the race. The race started very modestly for the first 5 miles, which were run in 28:04. 2:27:11 pace. That is ridiculous. But 6:16 were the fastest 11 miles ever run in the women's race in Boston Marathon history. 5:12, 5:13, 5:08, 4:59, 5:05, 5:11, 5:04, 5:13, 5:06, 5:24, and for the 11th mile, 5:03. I don't think any of us can comprehend how actually fast this is. This is ridiculous, guys. My PR in the mile used to be 5:12. They ran that for 6 mile. They ran a 4:59 at like 10 miles, guys. This is ridiculous. It just shows that the women's elite field was so strong this year. They ran 4:59. There was down to 3 women by like 10 miles into the race. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. The 5:05, that's my fastest mile in history. I ran 1 mile at 5:05 pace. They ran it at like halfway through the marathon. That is ridiculous. I can't even imagine that. That 11-mile stretch took a cumulative 56:35, which is 2:14:52 marathon pace. That is right around Koski's world record. The lead pack was disseminated as a result. 11 were in it at 10K, but 3 remained a little bit after 15K. So it took them 5K. So they were at 11 at 6.2 miles. By 9.3 miles, 5K later, 3.1 miles later, they were only at 3. That's how fast these mile splits were. The eventual top two, as well as reigning London champion Jocelyn Jepkosgei, the leading trio who hit halfway in 69.41. That's 109.41 for the half marathon. Mind you, that's about 13 minutes faster than my personal best, would run together until mile 23 when Jepkosgei was dropped, but the pace slowed as every mile between 16 and 23 was over 5:20. That seems really fast, but for these mile splits, that was pretty slow for them. And the 21st mile, which takes you to the highest point of the course, was 5:52. Now, to be honest with you guys, that's pretty slow. It's not slow, and I understand that, but for these elite women, they were jogging. Like, I was at about 20 miles, they were jogging at this pace, which seems crazy, but it's true. The downhill 24th mile, 5:17, which they definitely sped it up, was the lone mile for the final 10 under 5:20 before we got to the thrilling finish. This is the part where it was super shocking and I was really surprised to hear about. Olympic bronze medalist Molly Seidel ran with the leaders early and hit halfway in 11th in 71.44. Now, this is about 2 minutes behind the leaders, so the pace was really hot. By 25K, she had slowed to 22:24.17 pace and would drop out before 30K. After the race, she released the following statement regarding her DNF. Now, this just talks about, she had a hip problem. So you guys can read this. I will link the article down in the description below if you guys want to go dig deeper. But this was ridiculous. This was insane to me. I was actually tracking Molly Seidel, so that was like a tracking app so you could track people. I was tracking her, and she had a question mark next to her name, and she wasn't moving anywhere. This is crazy. You guys saw my preview, which I will link down in the description below. Go check it out. I thought Molly Seidel could finish second on the podium. She didn't even finish the race. She dropped down to 30K. That's 12K before the race even started to finish. So Molly Seidel, I thought she was gonna finish second. She dropped out. Now that is insane, guys. Top American honors for the second straight Boston went to Nell Rojas in 10th in 2:25.57, 72.05 first half. Now, again, this is about 3 minutes slower than the leaders, but again, our Americans, I feel bad to say it, but as Americans, we just can't match the Kenyans at this point. I really wish we could, but we can't. But 72.05, that's still a really, really good half. That's still like 112. And she ran 140 faster than what she ran and she ran 1 minute and 40 seconds faster what she ran in Boston in October, 2:27.37. But finished 4 spots lower. Brit Charlotte Purdue took top non-African honors in 9th in 2:25.26, 71.39 first half. Now, let's go back for a second. Nell Rojas ran 1 minute and 40 seconds faster than she ran in October and finished 4 spots lower. Guys, this just keeps highlighting how amazing this field was. Like, we look at this field, and Nell Rojas, if I was her, I'd be like, oh my god, I probably finished so high. She finished 4 spots lower and ran 1 minute and 40 seconds faster. That's a lot of time. So the fact that she did that means that this field, it just shows you that it's so hot and so powerful. This was just the top 20 results. So you guys can look at that afterward. So the next one, quick take. The women's finish was an epic duel. Let's just see how we're at for time. Okay, we'll just see. This wasn't the closest women's finish in Boston. See next point, but it might have been the best battle, the final mile. Jepchirchir kept surging to drop Yashina each time, which was amazing, and it was so fun to watch. Yashina then would get in front of Jepchirchir, who would slip into Yashina's slipstream before trying to make another surge. Yashina looked fresher than Jepchirchir. She did. I thought Jepchirchir was going to lose for a time, but Jepchirchir had what it took, and her final surge was enough to win the title and keep her status as #1 female marathoner in the world. Now, Jepchirchir is the #1 female marathoner in the world, which is crazy because you guys would think, oh my god, the world record holder Koski is. Nope, Jepchirchir is. Koski is good, but Jepchirchir I think is better as of right now. Quick take. You guys can read this other stuff. We're kind of short on time right now, so I have to kind of speed it up. But you guys can read this whole article if you guys want to go check it out in the description. Quick take. This was the 7th time a women's Boston Marathon has been decided by less than 5 seconds, but first since 2015. Between 2008 and 2012, the Boston Marathon featured a super tight women's finishes for 5 straight years. And the gap between first and second was at most 3 seconds. Guys, so we're talking 5 straight years. The gap between first and second was at most 3 seconds. We have seen over the course of, we saw last year, I think, it was like 30 seconds that the women won. That the women won first and second. That between that time, it was only 3 seconds. That's crazy. The 2015 race was also close, 4-second gap, and then today. The closest finish came in 2009 when Kara Goucher had led in the last mile and 3 women battled it out. You can watch the finish below. So you guys can watch this video below. I'm not going to play it right now because we're kind of short on time. But you guys can go watch it if you guys want to check this out down in the description. One quick take. Age is just a number for Edna Kiplagat. Now, Edna Kiplagat had run an amazing race. I did think she was going to run a bit better. But at 42 years old, I would say she probably finished pretty good. And I think she finished 4th. The remarkable Edna Kiplagat ran well yet again in Boston today. The 42-year-old, so she can still compete in the top 10 with 42 years old, who won the 2017 and was second at the last 2 Bostons in 2019 and 2021, also 8th in 2018, finished 4th today in a Boston Masters course record time of 2:21:40, smashing her old Masters record she ran to get second in October, 2:25:09. It was also a personal best for Kiplagat in Boston as she won in 2017 in 2:21:52. That is ridiculous. It's so funny how Edna Kiplagat is 42 years old, and it's just a number. Like, we always think, like, oh my god, at 42 years old you can't compete. She's just proving us wrong. Like, she actually got faster as she ran the race. She was second in October, and she was probably 41, and she ran 2:25:09. The field was big, but that just proves that when she gets older, she's only getting better. She broke that by like almost 4 minutes today, guys. That's insane. That's crazy. Quick take. Nell Rojas was the top American in Boston yet again, and yet again, she was unsponsored. I never knew that. That is crazy insane. I cannot believe Nell Rojas is still unsponsored. After finishing as top American in Boston last year, Nell Rojas signed an endorsement contract with Adidas. One small problem, she didn't like the way their shoes felt, and she got out of the contract and ran for herself today in a pair of Nike Alpha Flies. I can see that. Adidas shoes are good, but once again, as I told you guys in all my videos, Nike is just on another level with their shoes. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me, and I had to make a really tough decision to wear a shoe that works for my foot and that I'm confident in and that I knew I could stand on any starting line and be competitive, said Rojas. Unfortunately, I decided to run in a different shoe today. Now, if I had an endorsement deal, and I'm not a professional runner, but if I did, I wouldn't be dropping it because I'm getting free shoes. But I'm guessing that Nell Rojas is probably working out some kind of deal with someone to get her some free shoes. She can probably get some free shoes. She's probably not paying that much for it. And if she is, it's probably not that big of a deal for her. Quick take. Des Linden wants to come back, gives herself a B+. Besides Rojas, 3 other American women broke 2:30. 1 second, let me just check time. As 38-year-olds Stephanie Bruce and Des Linden were 12th and 13th in 2:28:02 and 2:28:47, respectively, and 26-year-old Dakota Lindworm was 14th in 2:29:55. Lindworm, Neil Bullen has come a long way for the Minnesota distance elite, as in college she was far from a star for the D3 Northern State, 34th in XC, track PBs of 16:43 and 34:57. But this was her second sub-2:30 marathon. She ran 2:29:04 at Grandma's last year. So, this is insane. Des Linden and Stephanie Bruce, 38-year-olds, ran 2:28 and 2:28:02 and 2:28:47. Des Linden, who was a former champion, that's crazy. And Stephanie Bruce, who I think I think she won a few smaller marathons. I don't think she won a major, but I think she won a few smaller ones. But that's just crazy that, I mean, again, like Edna Kiplagat, at 48 years old, these guys are running faster as they get older. It's so funny to see, because normally you would think like you're not going to get faster as you get older. These guys only are proving us wrong. So you guys can read the rest of this. We are running a little short on time. It's getting a little long, and if I want to do the recap, little recap video at the end of this block, I can't read the rest of it. But if you guys would like to keep reading this, and it's an amazing article, the last like 2 paragraphs or whatever, and a few paragraphs I didn't read, please do go check it out in the description. I will have both articles in the description. But yes, that's probably gonna do it up for that. You guys, that's probably gonna do it up for this first block of the video, and now we're doing to our second block of the video, basically reviewing what we talked about in this article, all about the women's elite field at the 2022 Boston Marathon. Alright guys, in the second block of the video, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to be basically reviewing and recapping what we talked about in the last block of the article, and kind of just reviewing what we talked about the women's elite race. So first off, let's talk about the incredible battle that we had on Boylston Street. Now, again, in that final mile, they really did describe it in the article super well. I mean, Jepchirchir looked a lot more tired than Yashina did. I mean, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Yashina correct. I don't know if that's her real name, but I mean, she looked a lot more tired than Yashina did. And as Yashina, I mean, I'm probably thinking like, oh, I'm a better half marathoner. So I'm probably thinking to myself, okay, I probably have a better kick than Jepchirchir. So I want to try to kick away from her. If I was Yashina, I would have probably went for it a lot sooner than she did. I probably wouldn't have let Jepchirchir stick around, because as the Olympic champion, Yashina knows that Jepchirchir has a pretty fierce kick. Jepchirchir is the Olympic champion. She does have that New York City win under her belt. She can outkick anyone. And as she proved, she has the ability to basically do whatever she wants, and she always has that extra gear. She's like a Kipchoge or a Bekele at their prime. I mean, Kipchoge always had that extra gear to just go for it when he had to go for it. Jepchirchir, I think, has that same thing. I think Koski has it, but I think Jepchirchir right now just has it a little bit more. But that incredible final mile battle was incredible. It was amazing, and it was so fun to watch. Let's talk about also that 11-mile stretch from 6 to 16. Guys, incredible. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. They went in 5K. In 3.1 miles, they went from 11 women to 3 women. 3! They went from 11 to 3 within 3.1 miles. That's how fast these splits were. They strung out the field so much, it was ridiculous. And even Jocelyn Jepkosgei, who has been one of the, I think, the greatest Kenyan marathoners, I mean, well, not one of the greatest, but really, really great Kenyan marathoner over the past few years, couldn't cope with the pace. So that just proves this field was so strong and those splits were so fast. Molly Seidel's story. That was shocking. I cannot believe Molly Seidel dropped out of the race. I do send my best wishes to Molly, but I was so looking forward to seeing her race. Again, I really do hope Molly gets her hip problem fixed, but as the Olympic bronze medalist, I expected her to finish second overall in the race. She didn't even finish the race. So if I were her, I would say yes, it is a disappointment, but I would also say I have motivation to come back at the World Championships or another marathon soon and try to win a medal. And I do think, possibly at Worlds, which I will do a preview to you guys when that time comes in July. I think at the World Championships marathon this year for the women, I really do think that Molly Seidel can possibly sneak in there and grab a medal. Edna Kiplagat age is just a number. Edna Kiplagat ran incredible this Monday. It was insane. I watched Edna Kiplagat, and she is such a beautiful runner. It is crazy. Edna Kiplagat is such a beautiful runner only because her stride is textbook. Her and Kipchoge are like the same people almost. It's crazy. Edna Kiplagat never is leaning too forward or too far back. Her stride length is perfect. Her arm carriage is amazing, and she broke her Masters Boston record by almost 4 minutes. She's 42, guys. She's beating the 26, 27-year-olds at 42. So the fact that she can do this is incredible. Des Linden and the Americans, who run great times. Des Linden and Stephanie Bruce ran amazing times for 38 years old today. Once again, I think Edna Kiplagat is the crowd favorite here at Boston. I really do for the women. I think Des is the crowd favorite, but I think Edna Kiplagat is also a favorite. But Des and Stephanie Bruce ran an amazing time, and Dakota Linworth, I think this was her second marathon, maybe third. She ran an also incredible time today. This women's race was incredible. Once again, I will link some videos of it down in the description below, and go check it out after you finish watching this video. Yeah, guys, so that's probably going to do it up for this first block of the video, and now we're going to our second block of the video, that's going to do it up for the second block of the video, and now we're into our third block of the video, recapping and reviewing and reading all about the men's professional elite race.